My lords, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to Transport Fever. Transport Fever 2 to be more precise. Yes, this is the 40th, I believe, episode of this Canadian-based playthrough. Doing very well so far, if I do say so myself. It's not perfect, don't claim to be perfect, and I'm sure some of the lines are horribly inefficient, which for those perfectionists out there is probably causing all sorts of anxiety issues, so I do apologise for that. Now, at the moment, I'm just chasing down this train. Now, the reason is I've had a lot of naming suggestions for trains, and I want to thank everybody for them. So the first one I'm going to act upon is by Benjamin Corey, and he suggested one of the trains should be named the Vernon Voyager. Now, this train runs on the British Columbia Railway, so yes, we will go for this train. I don't think it's having a special name for the rail buses. You know, it's better to have it on a nicer, not a nicer train, but a more prominent train, shall we say. So train 51 is here on out known as the Vernon Voyager. Obviously it doesn't just service Vernon, we know that, it goes all the way up the British Columbia main line, so, but regardless, I think it suits. And as we can see, oh, it's got the line name on there. I never noticed that before. That's brilliant. I was looking for the train name. There it is. Just try and get it there. That's as best we're going to get it without the text disappearing. There we go. The Vernon Voyager. Thank you very much, Benjamin, for that naming suggestion. Now, on to the next. I do have quite a few of these to work through, so bear with me on this one. And this one is going to be one of our Calgary mainline trains. Now, while we're in Calgary, I want to point out one thing. The traffic. It's horrendous. So that's something we're going to have to tackle pretty soon. I mean, look at this. And that's even without traffic lights. So, yeah. I believe this is all down to the road sizes. Only having 2-lane roads, or 1 lane, one in each direction, if you know what I mean. So these roads will have to be upgraded in the near future, but I might save that for a dedicated separate episode, the whole traffic management, because it's stretching all the way out here as well to northeast Calgary, and that to me says Calgary's public transport system, as well as the 4 districts thereof, does need reworking. I mean, look at this backlog of trucks here, it's horrendous. But for now, we're going to overlook that. We are going to fix it in the future, but it probably will not be this episode. Now, the reason we're in Calgary is, as discussed, to name one of the Calgary mainline trains. So if we go onto our intercity mainline, at the moment we have the Pronghorn, brilliant name, love it. This one, this name is courtesy of, just bear with me here, Chad Harris, who recommends, and I love this one, the Flying Falcon. So we have the Flying Falcon, which is on the Royal Hudson train, which is a mod provided by Steve M4, who is a fantastic Transport Fever 2 modder. If you haven't checked out his stuff on the Steam workshop, please do so. They are brilliant train models, as we can see here with this rather magnificent looking train, the Flying Falcon. So Chad, thank you very much for that naming suggestion. As always, keep them coming, but I do have a few more to deal with. One of the lines, this is the one that we tentatively, or I tentatively called the Colonel Hadfield line, just as a bit of a filler, and somebody has suggested a train line name, so a line name. So let's find that line. Here it is here. Now this, I think I've got the right line here. I'm just looking at the comment at the same time here, so bear with me. Yes, the Cherryville to Nakusp line. And they recommend the Okanagan Kootenay, if I'm spelling that correctly, I hope I am. pronouncing it correctly, I should say. Okanagan. Let me check the spelling here. You'll have to bear with me here. Kootenay, not Kootenay. Connector. So we'll go for that, and they also suggest that when it heads to the east of Nakusp, which is heading out this way here, it could change to the Selkirk or the Kootenay line. So if we do have a separate line run down here anywhere, we shall use that name as well. That was provided by, and let me try and get the pronunciation here correct, Daryrock. I'm going to say Daryrock. If that's incorrect, I do apologise, but regardless, thank you very much for the naming suggestion. Always welcome, as I do say. Now, we do have a few more, so I promise this is not just an episode of naming trains. There will be some building as well, but I want to get all these out of the way because I do like to act on them. It's a great way, I think, for the community to get involved and make their stamp on this playthrough as well, which I always appreciate. I think it's brilliant. So this one again comes from Benjamin Corey, and they recommend the, and I'm probably going to butcher this, the Ogopogo. And now that is a mythical or zoological, cryptozoological beast that is said to inhabit the Okanagan Lake, which is this lake just here. So what we'll do, since this train runs alongside the Okanagan Lake, we shall go ahead and use train 65. Now, unfortunately, this is not one of the more prominent trains, it's just a doubled up rail bus. However, because it's on the Okanagan Lake, it makes sense to use it. So let's go ahead and change this one to, I have to check the spelling here, Ogopogo. Brilliant. Now I'm assuming, I've not googled the Ogopogo, but I'm hoping, or I'm guessing, it's similar to the Loch Ness Monster, for instance. Obviously that's something I'd be more familiar with being from the UK. Either way, it's a very fitting name, especially if it's on the Okanagan Lake there. So thank you very much once again, Benjamin, for that. Still have, I think, there's two more to go with. And these both come from Benjamin, who's been very active with the naming suggestions. Thank you very much. And you've also been a great help with some pronunciations and just the general geography of the place as well. So really appreciate that. It has been a bit of a learning experience, this playthrough, learning this region of Canada. I don't know if I mentioned in any of the previous episodes, but I have been to Canada twice, although I only got as far as Vancouver. And even then, I never left the port of Vancouver because I was on a working container ship, and that's where we were docked. So yes, I have been to Canada, but never any further than the port of Vancouver. But enough about that. Let's press on. Two more trains to name, and we'll stick them both on the Intercity main line. Train 27 is going to be the Stampeding Buffalo, which again, beautiful name, brilliant. I think I've spelled that correctly. Probably not. But either way, there we go, the Stampeding Buffalo. And the last one to name, another mainline train just here. And this, if I can select it, there we go. This is going to be the Plains Quarter Horse. Now that's quite a fitting name on this line because this train line does run through a lot of the plains around here as it's heading out towards Okotoks, High River and Nanton. Obviously it's going through this very flat plains area here, so it is quite suited. So that's the naming all caught up with. Obviously, any more, please let me know, keep them coming. I do, as you can probably tell, like to act upon all of them as quickly as I can, or it might take an episode or two to get them in, depending on how I've staged my recordings. Now for today, what we want to do is focus on this cargo setup that we'd started in episode 39, which is the Shelter Bay Freight Hub. Now as you can see, I have reworked this as intended, or as promised at the end of the last episode. So now all the lines merge into two, and then branch off to each platform. But on the lead up, we now have 4 tracks. 3 of them head in, 1 of them heads out. That way we could have the food line up one of the ways in. We can have, what else we're going to be delivering here at one point, machinery for example. Yep, the machines could come on a second line, and let's say, what else do we have? Is there anything else we could bring down here? The bricks or the tools, they could come on the 3rd line, and then they all share the same line out. So that should help stop our trains getting backlogged from one another. For example, a brick train can't get on platform because the track is held up by a food train, for example. So all that being said, now it's time to start actually getting some trains running out here. So if you remember in the last episode, we built this rather impressive suspension bridge rail line through the little valley into the mountains. Still really like the look of it. I'm still very pleased with myself for that. Losing money hand over fist, no surprise with the traffic. However, we've got a nice £2.5 billion cushion there, so it's not something I'm desperately concerned with, but given that we've now acknowledged the problems in Calgary, it is something we will be dealing with ASAP, as I said, more than likely in the next episode. But for now, let's get this all set up. So this is going to be our food delivery, and this is from Cherryville West to Shelter Bay. I will rename the stations off camera when I remember. I have forgotten to do it so far. And we want full load. We want, I'd say 30 seconds is, no, 60 seconds. We'll go 60. And we just want to make sure he's only taking the food and he's not bringing anything back. So that will do that. And this is our food freight, and this is going from Cherryville to Shelter Bay. And I've put a space in there. There shouldn't be one. Like so. So that's our food line. Obviously that's going to then transfer over to this truck station here. And we're going to have 2 lines, one into Shelter Bay and then one over the river into Galena Bay. First of all though, we need to get the train up and running. So let us do that now. What depot can we use for this? Let's see here. Could we use this one? Is there a crossover? I think I did, but yes, there is a crossover. That's brilliant. So we can use this depot out here. To start with, we'll go for 2 trains on this line. I don't think we're going to need much more than that. Oh yes, we have unlocked some new trains. I'd forgotten to pause the game while I was reworking that junction. So we've unlocked the Alco PA and the Baldwin DT66-2000. So which one shall we use? I guess we'll go for one of the new ones. The Alco is probably a little bit overpowered, at least in terms of its top speed. Obviously our wagons are restricted to 50 miles per hour, so we're not even going to use half of its potential top speed. This one, it's also cheaper to run, and the power, it is less, but it's not massively so. So I think we'll go for one of these. Which one do we want? Well, that one's a little bit better, isn't it? A little bit more expensive as well, but it does have a higher power rating. Let's go for the re-engineered one. So we'll add that. And then we want our gondolas. I think for now we'll go for, yeah, I think just 108 capacity, and we're using the wrong wagons there. I'm glad I spotted that. As saying, we'll go for 108. We want 2 of those, that's 23 million, good power rating, and it's pretty much hitting top speed on all gradients, which is nice. So there's the 2 trains now. Let's assign them. Well, let's not, because we haven't actually set the line up yet. Yes, we have, I just can't see it. All over the place today. This is food freight, Cherryville to Shelter Bay. No problems accessing their intended line. So before we set up the food delivery in terms of our trucks, I just want to take a quick look at these trains as they leave. Oh, very nice. It's clearly a diesel, as we can tell. What does it say on the side there? Chicago EJ and ER Outer Belt. That's a proper freight train right there. I like the look of that. And it's another diesel to add to our fleet. Obviously we've got quite a few of them at the moment, but we are primarily steam and electric based for now. So that's the new train. Now we can set up the food delivery line. So we're going to go from Shelter Bay East. Again, that will be renamed in due course. We have a drop off there. Does that hit what we need it to hit? Let us have a look. Indeed it does, because I think I put it in last episode. I just can't remember. Anyway, manage the line. We'll set this up while we're here actually. We'll go 20 seconds for this. Full load all. You want to be taking bread, not bringing anything back, and you're heading there. Let's just give you the correct colour scheme, which is, I believe, that shade. And this is our food delivery for Shelter Bay. Excellent, so now we can purchase some vehicles to run this line. Do we have a depot nearby? We have that one, but I think I'll put a dedicated one just a little bit closer. So, road depot. We'll put it there, that way any traffic lights can be squashed. Although it's not generated any, so that's okay. So now we want to buy vehicles, cargo vehicles, and we have the Studebakers, which I believe are new ones as well. As we can see here, we can use the side stake over the tarpaulin, so we do have slightly increased capacity, 16 players against 14, so that's always handy. And I think for now we'll just go for 6 of these. No, 8. We'll go for 8. And we'll quickly colour them so we know what they're carrying from a distance. And they should now start making their way out, although I haven't assigned them to a line because I'm an idiot. Try that again, there we go, now they're coming out. While we're at it, we may as well do the delivery line into Galena Bay as well. I don't think we put the truck unload point down in here, no we didn't. So it's all very centralised again, so I think we'll go for that little side street there. And then we want a new line, Shelter Bay East into Galena Bay. Can't click it because of the town nameplate, that's better. That colour, and we're going to do the same setup as we did for Shelter Bay. Need to set it to full load as well, so I'll do that now. Perfect, and this is food delivery for Galena Bay. There we go. Once again, get the same trucks. 8 of those. There we go, colour that. And put them on the line. There we go. So that's that taken care of. We should now start seeing some food production or some food delivery getting ready on our platform here. What platform are we actually using? We're using platform number 1. So we should start seeing some food there. It should also kick up production of our wheat over here as well. So we might have to look about getting some more trucks on this line if necessary. But we can check that a little bit later when things bed in a little more. Now, I said I wasn't going to touch Calgary this episode. However, it's bugging me, even though I can't see it, because I know it's there and I know it's a problem. So I think what we will do is make a small start, and the start we will make is going to upgrade our roads where possible. Now, we want bus lanes, purely because I do believe our delivery trucks will use the bus lanes. That then keeps them out of the way of the residents as they make their way through. We have a bridge pier collision. That's disappointing. Let's quickly delete that. Okay, I can't even delete it. That's very annoying. Why is it being so silly? Why aren't you playing nice today? Of course, it would help if I actually drag it. In fact, we may as well upgrade this too. Should we go for a suspension bridge? Yeah, let's do that. Where's my tick? There's my tick. Now we should be able to take it all the way back on both sides and basically just redraw our bridge from scratch. Keep clicking the train icon. We're not putting a train out here, that would be just ridiculous. Yes, there we go. We have the bus lane. Yeah, we'll go for that. Although it's now saying we have a collision. That's better. There we go. So that's going to help the flow through a little. It's not going to fix all the problems. We need to upgrade some of our town roads as well. But for now, we'll focus on the easy to upgrade ones, such as the ones that run between the two cities, or the suburbs, I should say. They're not disparate cities, they are intended to be suburbs of the same city, Calgary. And I think this is going to end up ploughing through a lot of Calgary, which is a shame, but they will rebuild all these houses that we're having to demolish. This has put traffic lights in, so we want to get rid of those. So that and that and that can bugger off, as can that. Any others over here? Yes, you can go away as well, sir. Okay. So as we can see, the traffic on the bridge is flowing a little better actually on the bridge itself, but we come to this slowdown here where our 3 lanes merge into one. So this all needs reworking as well, and I think the best thing we're going to do here is actually delete it and rebuild it. As we can see, we've unlocked the Greyhound Silversides bus and 2 boxcars. I think these are as normal, although they do have higher speed as we can see, and they also have liveries, so we want to look at those just for the immersion, if you will. But we can take a look at those a little bit later. For now, we need to get this traffic issue addressed. Now this is going to destroy a lot of the town, which isn't ideal, but it's what we've got to do to fix it. Sometimes you have to destroy to build back better, if you know what I mean. Anyway, for now we want that over there. That keeps this 6 lane or 3 lane, whichever way you count it, all the way through. That can connect. Perhaps if we curve that road, that might be a bit more suitable. Let's see here. Yes. And then from here, oh, it's curving a weird way there. Where's my node up here? And then you connect. Come on, there you go. Like that. Obviously we've got traffic lights, we will remove those. Let's do that now before we forget. That's better. We've also got traffic lights here. Let's get rid of those. Okay, can we upgrade these roads at all here? Let's have a quick look. No. I'm guessing that's because of our train station, which is a little disappointing. So I'm just going to upgrade as many of these as I can. Could we get a... Yes, we can. There we go. So that's that upgrade. We can't do that because of the bridge under the rail line. Will it take a 2? Maybe. No. Okay, so we're going to have to drop down to 1 temporarily. That's all upgraded. This can be 3 lane, 6 lane. 6 lane. Go with what the game says. That will need removing entirely. In fact, probably want to take that all the way back and rework the junction in its entirety. Let's go back a little further actually, give us more room to work with this. So what we want is we want a straight road over here. So that's not affecting the train line, which is good. The signals are a bit in a weird place, we'll have to redo those. But that can connect into there, and hopefully, no, gonna have to redo this just a touch. So ploughing through all that hard work we've put to grow these cities, which is a bit of a bugger, but as I said, they do grow back pretty quickly. And then, can you come into there? Yes, you can. We're going to have a load of traffic lights to get rid of. There and there. There, there, and there. That can all go. One there and there. Go away. As can you. I think that's most of them. And that should... Well, clearly it's made no difference back here. That's... Oh, watch your car. That's unfortunate, sir. Oh dear. Jake Turner, RIP. Squashed by the pronghorn. Anyway, yes, still problem here at this junction, but I think this is all a feedback from this junction here where they're dropping down to 2 lanes. Let me just try something here. Delete the bus stops, and delete that, and in fact delete that and that as well. And what we'll do, if we're quick, obviously it's paused, so we don't have to be quick in that sense, but if we can get the bus stops put back in roughly the same position, the lines will recalculate themselves without any input from us, and that's what we want here. Let's try it now. So if we get... No, we're not going to find it there. Yes, this should work. Let's see. Yes, the buses have recalculated their routes. We're going to have to get rid of that. And that. Let's now put in a road, not a railway. That's not going to do us any good. The road can come to there before curving in like that. Let's see what our buses are doing. Okay, so our pink line is turning around to access this bus stop. So, which direction are you coming from? Okay, you're coming this way, are you? Well, in that case, I think we'll put a one-way street down here into there for the bus. And obviously any residents can use it as well. So they haven't rerouted yet, so we need a waypoint there. What line is this? The pink one. Bus service 01. Manage the line. On your way to Church Street, go that way. That's better. So we'll see what that does. While we're talking bus lines and bus routes, it's probably not a bad idea to go and upgrade our buses to the Greyhounds. That should be nice and quick to do. We can just do it in the vehicle manager. And what we want to do, we want buses only, or road vehicles only. We don't want the airport shuttle. So you and you and you and you and you. Let's get all of these picked up. Make sure we click the right place, because you can undo all of your progress here if you're not careful, and it can be a little bit annoying. In fact, we'll stop there for now. Passenger. So faster, a lot more power and one more capacity. May as well do it. And now we'll restart from golden. That way, if we do accidentally click the wrong place, we're not going to lose all of our progress. We'll get as far as Revelstoke. We want the Greyhound. And then, once again, we do the same thing. Just reset our progress. So, any misclicks aren't as costly in terms of time. And I think that's all of them now. There we go. Let's have a quick look at these Greyhounds, shall we? They look nice in their colour, I must say. And it's got the next stop on there as well. That's beautiful. Quintessentially North American. I'm not sure if the Greyhounds operated in Canada. Obviously, they are quite famous in the United States. Everybody knows that. Okay, now I wonder if are we going to be better tunneling under these train lines here to avoid these barriers, which is obviously contributing to the slowdown somewhat. We shall see. Okay, so we're not going to do any more in terms of trying to fix Calgary's traffic flow issues today. I think the best thing we can do here is go ahead and redo the transit system in terms of our buses and our metros, just to ease the burden on the roads and give our residents more alternatives when it comes to navigating between the various districts. But that's going to be an episode in of itself, so we don't want to do it piecemeal. We'd rather focus on that in a oneer, if that makes any sort of sense. So we'll leave that for now. It's not fixed, not by a long shot, but we've made a start. We've got some of our roads upgraded, which is the main thing. I mean, this bridge here is now quite free-flowing. This is obviously still a major issue. Maybe, do you know what? I'm going to test something. I'm going to go against everything I've always said about traffic lights, but I'm going to test this with traffic lights in. And what we'll do, we'll pause the date progression, put it to 3 times speed, and we'll just watch it for a minute or two. Or I'll watch it for a minute or two. I'll put a cut in. You don't have to watch it yourselves. Obviously, it's going to be a bit dull. And we'll see if it makes any sort of difference on our traffic flow. Okay, so it doesn't seem to improve it too drastically. So before we end the episode, I'm going to try one last thing here, and that's to take all that back to there, and we're going to try a little UK trick, and we're going to stick in a roundabout. So could we do it with a 3-lane road? Let's see. Now, building roundabouts in Transport Fever is not the easiest task. Unlike, say, city skylines, where you have nodes on your roads, you don't have that here, so you have to do it pretty much freeform, and it can be awful. I've gone the wrong way, but we can sort that out later, because we should be going to the right, as we are in Canada, not to the left. We're not in the UK, but we can upgrade that just by right-clicking there. Now, if we reconnect our roads, extra large streets, please. And I'm hopeful, in fact, we might get away with dropping down to 2-lane. We'll go for 3. We'll go for 3. I'm hopeful that having a roundabout might help the traffic flow a little. Let's see what happens here. Let's keep it paused while we finish this off. It's not going to look the best. Not even close. Okay. Right, you come back to there. Can we go underneath? It's going to be tight. It's going to be very tight. But let's see. Too much slope. Okay, collision. Oh, okay. So you're happy with that? Very good. What about you, sir? Yes, that's fine. And then the last one. There. Let's see what this does. Again, just quickly pause the date. The theory is now, obviously, it should keep this flowing through a lot better. I say should. Time will tell. It seems to be. It seems to be. That's one to keep an eye on. Now, as I said, ideally we would tunnel under all these railways, but I don't think we have the space to do it, unfortunately, so we're going to have to make do with the level crossings, slowing everything down from time to time. But that's okay. Alright, so I think we'll leave it there for today's episode. In the grand scheme of things, perhaps not the most productive episode in the world. Obviously, we started off with a big overhaul of some of our naming, which is always important, you know, because it's coming from you guys, and that to me is very important. And then we made a start on trying to tackle Calgary's horrific traffic flow issues, which we haven't quite accomplished yet, although I do believe we made something of a start. Well, this road seems to be a little bit less backed up than it was, so that's something. Although we're still looking pretty poor back here, let's be honest. So that's going to require some further thinking and probably a little bit of off-camera experimentation, and then any successful experiments will be replicated in future episodes. But for now, we've been about 30 minutes or so, I believe, and that's what I like to aim for. So all that remains for me to say for this episode is, as always, ladies and gentlemen, take very good care of yourselves. It's ta-ta for now.